But the good news that we can transform suffering and turn it into flourishing. Okay. I can hear some suggestions. There are 5 steps or 5 stages, whatever we call it. So there's a process involved. The first stage is to face suffering and learn how to embrace it as our forgotten twin, the other undesirable part of ourselves. Now, research has shown that the more we try to avoid suffering, the more we suffer. Paradoxically, the moment we face suffering, we take our stand and face it with a defiant spirit, face it with courage, then the monster will retreat. So that is an empirical fact. Okay, so a lot of research supporting that. The second step is also supported by a lot of research. That is, when we suffer, we've tried to find out what is suffering, what does it mean? And Frankl used to say that suffering is bearable if there's meaning. Some is unbearable if it has no meaning. So we have a capacity to understand what does this suffering tell me? What's the message it has? And more importantly, what's the lesson I can learn from this painful experience? So you'll be able to extract, wrestle out some meaning, some lesson, or some wisdom. Then your suffering becomes not only bearable, but also your welcome master, your welcome teacher, because it teaches you some precious lesson that you can never learn without that painful experience. The third thing is even more important. If you are able to harness all the negative energy and insight from suffering and channel it to fertilize the dark soil for your personal growth. Wow, that's amazing. You know what? I can honestly say that every rejection, every insult, every put down make me stronger, make me all determined not to be defeated. I'm still walking tall. I'm still full of energy and vitality, thanks to all my enemies. They try to destroy me, but unwittingly, they make me strong. So therefore, you probably have the same experience. You can also become stronger and better because you're suffering. The first point I want to make is that because suffering is inevitable, that makes us aspire of hope to transcend our small self, to connect with something greater, to connect with God, to connect with other people, to connect with something that was dying for. So by finding there's something greater, by finding a higher purpose, a greater good, then we not only become stronger, but we find ourselves disappear in the ocean. We discover that we're part of the vast ocean. So at that point, we have succeeded in transforming suffering. And what's the proof? The proof is that if you're able to transcend suffering, you'll be able to be what you are meant to be. You're able to fulfill your calling, your purpose, and produce the unique fruit to feed others that only you can give. So this is something for you to think about why going to the gates of suffering is essential, not only inevitable, but essential for your flourishing.